Here's an interesting example of a Watling three-reel slot machine. If you look casually, you might recognize it as the Watling Rol-a-Top. However, if you look a little more closely, you'll notice that the name on this one is actually Rol-A-Tor, T-O-R. The machine, the serial number dates it from about 1935. And in fact, from history, we see that the original name for this design from Watling was in fact Rol-A-Tor. In 1935, there are ads that show the Watling, and here it is showing the casting with the Rol-A-Tor name. What you can also find, though, is that in fact that name was very short-lived for Watling, because prior to them using that name, in fact, it turned out that Norge refrigerators had adopted the name Rol-A-Tor for their model of refrigerating. And so they put a cease and desist onto Watling and said they already had trademarked the name. So Watling had to change. And the easiest change to make was to, in fact, go to the molds and file off the lower stem of the R here and turn the machine into a Rol-A-Top, which is what they did. But so it's neat to find these earlier specimens when you can find the original Rol-A-Tors. Again, this one is from about 1935. It's a 5-cent denomination, completely unrestored and original, which is neat to find. What's also interesting about this particular one is that the operator that must have owned the machine did very extensive serializing of the machine. There's a 5049 stamped extensively into different parts in the mechanism inside, as well as here on this casting on the top, as well as the left and right side of the wooden cabinet. So they went to great depths to make sure that, in addition to the serial number that Watling had put on the machine, this operator put a unique identifier, a 4-digit code, onto their machine. Whether it was to keep track, whether it was to be able to prove that it was theirs when others were being operated inside of a club, who knows, but kind of interesting to find. It also is neat when everything kind of ties together and matches. So all the 4-digit numbers, as well as the serial numbers on the castings and on the inside cabinet, are all intact and aligned. So kind of neat to find a specimen like this that has not been messed with over the years. We can go ahead and play it. It's a pretty standard Rol-A-Top as far as play. Basically, we got our nickel back on that one, so spurious coin. Here we go. Drop it in and give a pull. Only one cherry there, so we won't get a payout on this one. Let's try it again. And this one does have the the mint vendors. So with each coin, you would be able to turn the knob a half a turn, and it would drop out a roll of mints. Not having much luck on it, but you get the idea. Nope. It's a pretty traditional three-reeler, and again, a very early 1935 example of the Watling Rol-A-Tor, which is the predecessor to the very popular and famous Rol-A-Top.